Real or fake? Today we are guessing whether, you two are guessing whether these DCYA plots are in fact real or fake. I have written them myself, so that will make them extra tricky.
And joining us today, we have the host of Based G4 over here, MeleeGames, the man who will dance to Bear Force 1 and take his shirt off for $50.
I will take that compliment. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. And the G4 comparison is really appropriate right now while I'm burned through my entire body. I'm like Adam Sessler on a coke trip right now. Like it's Adam Sessler in The Hangover looking for cocaine, and I got my entire body burned. So it's never been a more accurate comparison.
I remember Adam Sessler, as soon as X-Play got canceled, he wrote an article called I Hate My Penis, and I was so confused. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, so I figured James would be a good person for this because he stopped reading comics in 2011 when a lot of people say comics stopped being good, and I haven't read comics for about the same time, and I never really messed with DC at all. I was always like a Marvel guy. The only DC that I consumed was all the cartoons, like Batman Beyond, Batman the original cartoon,
good stuff.
Teen Titans, and stuff.
First M represent, yeah.
And you haven't really watched many of my videos because they're insane.
No, I'm only here to comfort you after you're done recording. When you're like, James's favorite Spider-Man villain is Mysterio.
Oh yeah, wow, you remembered that. Wow.
I remember that because someone was telling me the other day that they made a Spider-Man comic where Mysterio has a nephew who is gay and has AIDS. And I thought that would be the perfect punishment. You'd have to be Mysterio's gay nephew with AIDS.
I looked the part right now. Oh my God. It's gonna make me look up Mysterio gay AIDS. Oh my God. What do you even do with that?
Well, don't worry. You can read the comic if you lose.
And you who are playing along at home, if you get less answers correct than me or James, you too are Mysterio's gay nephew with AIDS.
So,
all right.
First plot. After her cat falls off a door and dies, Selina Kyle cuts her wrist and runs away from home, refusing help from her childhood friend, Bruce Wayne. Soon, she finds new friends who do parkour and steal things for a living. But now's the time to pull off the most epic heist. Steal a book from Wayne Manor. Real or fake?
Okay, so that sounds like half true. You act like, I think that's part true, but the part where I'm gonna say it was fake was the cutting herself. Because are you telling me that DC actually published a book for kids that made a cool Selina Kyle villain, and she was just like going full My Chemical Romance, like right off the bat? No way.
So I feel like I remember you mentioning that there was a DCYA where they tried to make cutting cool, but
no.
How could a cat fall off a door and die like that?
That's the part that strikes you as strange.
That's the part that strikes you. Okay, so
cutting.
And then I bet she would have a childhood friend, Bruce Wayne, but then she's got to steal from his house.
Yeah, I totally see that, especially if they make her the, how do we say, urban Selina Kyle. If they make her. Now you're telling me that it could be real, but for me it was maybe it's because I was there, Gandalf. I was there during the cutting era. I can't imagine DC is that stupid that they would actually try to make cutting your wrists cool and edgy for children. That sounds illegal.
I'm gonna go with the opposite of James. I'm gonna say true because of the cutting.
What?
The rest of it is what I find to be kind of not believable.
No, the rest is really...
The cutting, I feel, because I feel like I remember you mentioning cutting being in one of these comics. So I'm gonna go true. Final answer.
Okay, so you go true, you go fake.
Fake and cut. Yep.
That is 1 point to Adam. It is real.
There's no way. What's the name of this?
It is Under the Moon, a Catwoman's Tale. It is a real comic. She does cut herself when she runs away from home. She does join a parkour gang that steals stuff for a living. Her cat does fall off a door and die.
How the fuck does it fall off? Was it like the door opens and gets slammed in it?
No, it was balancing on top of the door. It fell off and died. All the way at the end of the comic, they try to do something where she's like, oh, it was really stupid of me to cut myself. But, you know, at the beginning, it's a little too little too late in my opinion. So
How old is Batman in this?
I think they're both like 16 or something.
I hope he beats her into a mental facility just like she deserves. That's why Batman is legit my favorite superhero of all time. Does it get worse from here?
All right, are you ready for the next one?
No, not after that. Where do you go from pro cutting?
I'm still thinking about the Mr. Freeze one. I think that is by far the
that
worst.
one's not on here.
Yeah, I figured you couldn't put. I'll explain for James. Mr. Freeze and Nora are like in high school. Of course, Nora's black, and Nora wants to kill herself, and Mr. Freeze is a villain because he won't let her kill herself.
No,
Euthanasia.
wait, that's the bad. What? No, what? I thought it would be because.
Yeah, he saves her life by trapping her in ice.
That's the whole Mr. Freeze character is, Nora, I'll save you, get chilled. But now you're telling me he's bad for that? That's the whole point of that's what makes the character sympathetic, is that he's got a morally great, because he does bad things, but it's all for love. That's great.
Yeah.
And now
but no, according to DC, if you try to stop someone from killing themselves, you're a real bad guy.
She has an illness that's going to kill her. And she's like, well, I'd rather kill myself instead.
Was this made in Canada?
She just wanted Canadian healthcare, and he said no.
Denied her healthcare, technically. How does Batman deal with that? Does he kill Nora? Does he pull the plug?
I don't think Batman's in that comic, honestly.
Batman's the hero. He's gotta help her out.
The only time Batman is allowed to kill.
That wasn't even on the list. We're going off topic.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Anyway.
I feel sick.
All right. Are you ready for the next plot?
Go ahead.
Lois Lane is reimagined as a Japanese reporter, otherwise known as Rowis Rain.
I wish.
She finds herself working for an internship for a misogynist white man who steals her. Okay, she finds herself working for an internship for a misogynist white man who steals her ideas and demotes her to nothing more than a coffee-fetching minion. Now she must branch off from her internship and take matters into her own hands by leading a protest against her misogynist ex-boss.
I don't know.
I wish. I absolutely wish. And again, I guess I didn't know what I was in for. I guess my tactic is finding the one thing. But that didn't work in the first round. But for this one, it all sounds believable except for Rowis Rain.
Yeah, same, right? I was thinking the same. They couldn't really print Rowis Rain.
Unless someone on the inside is actually really funny.
Well, she's Japanese, so they don't have an L sound.
Right.
No.
People were talking about race swapping Lois Lane, but I would assume that it's such a main character they would make her black, not Japanese.
Oh, okay.
That's
and
true.
also
a black Lois Lane is real, but a Japanese one is not.
Yeah, because also Japanese people are kind of based. I don't know if they would make him Japanese. They would make her like Chinese. For Rowis Rain, I'm gonna say. Not true.
Adam's going fake?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Fake on the Rowis. And I will literally buy this entire writer's omnibus if he actually did write in Rowis Rain. I will.
Fortunately, neither of you get a point. It is real.
There's no way!
Rowis Rain is real.
There's no way!
Rowis Rain?
No.
Oh.
But the fans called her Rowis Rain.
Oh, okay.
Because they didn't change her name. Even though Japanese don't have an L sound, they still call her Lois Lane.
Okay.
The comic is called Girl Taking Over a Lois Lane.
I just went on the Rowis Rain. My brain just went tism and it was like, there's no way it's Rowis Rain. So the rest of it is true.
Technically, they would pronounce it Rowis Rain because she's supposed to be Japanese.
That's the voice I would have read in my head.
It was difficult to read out.
The corpsing a little bit. I was like, it's got to be fake. It's got to be fake. But it's 99% true. It's just the way we pronounce it because we're horrible racists here. Okay, I got it.
We've been had.
Well, keep in mind, I wrote all these myself, so they may be tricky.
They may have some embellishments.
Oh my god.
Well, I can't use their actual
Yeah,
plot
yeah.
synopsis because they hide the plot from you when they're trying to sell these comics.
Right.
An alien with a crystal in her heart is forced to live among Earthlings disguised as a human boy. But when she falls in love with the green-haired, fat, black lesbian girl at school, things get a little complicated. She finds the courage to out herself as a girl and bravely fuck her lesbian crush. But how will she deal with the rest of the school treating her differently now that they know the truth, that she's not a boy?
I'm going to, there is no red flags there for me. That is totally believable in our nightmare reality. They would totally try to make underage children have sex with fat women that are completely unappealing and grotesque to look at, kind of like my skin right now. So yeah, I'm going to go 100% true on that one. There was no red flags.
I'm going to go 100% true. Yeah.
Now, if you called her something like Shaniqua Tichondrius or something, then I would have been like, I was focused on the names, but there was no objections.
Yeah, transgender alien is very on brand, I feel
Well,
like.
technically, she's not transgender. She identifies as the gender she was born as, but she was disguised as a boy.
This is totally Martian Manhunter bullshit. Like, there's just this is Martian Manhunter because he can like turn into anything and he can do whatever. He's like Superman, except he can like just shapeshift into a penguin if he wants to. Yeah, that's the thing. They're turning shapeshifting into what you identify as bullshit. 100% real.
You both get a point. It is real.
Knew it.
It is called Galaxy, the prettiest star.
That's
her superhero name is Galaxy.
I just want to look up her girlfriend to be like, and she
wears the Beetlejuice suit.
How do we shut down DC? This is not fair. You know what's funny? You come up when I look this up. Your face.
I'm the only one who's reading it.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Look out, world. The beautiful Starfire from Teen Titans is all grown up, and now she's a single mom, raising a fat lesbian goth daughter named Mandy. School's hard enough for Mandy, but it becomes a whole lot harder when her aunt, Blackfire, shows up on Earth to fight her for the home planet of Tamaran. Will Mandy be able to suddenly acquire superpowers and save her weak mother from her aunt?
Okay, I know there is a comic where there is a fat goth daughter of Starfire, because we did that video where I was hacking up the comics with an axe.
This must die.
But I don't know what the plot of the comic was. I just chopped it up. So you do with that information what you will, but there is a comic called I'm Not Starfire, and that's what that's what's on the cover, is a fat goth, and she's drawn hideously, like so hideous, like a caricature. It's so mean.
I wish they were bullying, but they're not capable. They're not capable of being funny or ironic or having talent. It all sounds true, and again, it's the naming. I gotta name them. It feels like Blackfire. It's like, but we've already had Cutting is real. And we've had Rowis Rain being real, so I feel like this could be another trip up. I'm going real.
Okay.
So
we got one for real.
I don't know, because I know I know there is a comic where Starfire is a single mother of a fat goth girl.
It's all there. It's just, will Blackfire exist?
I'm gonna. You said real?
I said real. Blackfire.
I'm gonna also say real.
Yeah.
Because
Blackfire
if we're wrong, I'll stay in the lead.
That's true.
Right? So I know at least half of it is real. The second, I can't imagine her, that tubby goth, I cannot imagine fighting someone. And that would be like almost mean to like, I'm gonna go real. I'm gonna copy James.
It is real. It is called I Am Not Starfire.
Okay.
And Blackfire's a real name.
Blackfire is a real character from Teen Titans.
Yeah, that was in the cartoon too.
I never watched Teen Titans.
That is actually Starfire's sister.
Oh shit, I see her now. Yeah, I would have. I can see the appeal. For some reason, I had this thing as a kid where I liked all my all my superheroes elderly and old, and anything that tried to relate to me as a kid, I was like, get out of here. Like, I didn't watch Harry Potter for the longest time. So just seeing the name Teen Titans, I'm like, I don't even like Robin as a kid. Like, I like Robin now, but it was like, I can't even stand Robin. I want Batman depressed. So I don't like him having any company. So I've never watched Teen Titans or like Young Justice or any of that stuff because it's just like, no, I want them old. Very, very old. So I can't believe Blackfire is real.
All right,
you know.
so Adam's in the lead, 3-2. We got more plots though, so there's time to catch up.
All right.
All right, next plot. One's a Joker, one's a billionaire, but both have affection for their friend Selina Kyle. Bruce Wayne and Jack Napier are reimagined as high schoolers with no supernatural powers.
Stop!
Hang on, there's more! But when rapists are kidnapping women for ransom, they've got to work together to save Selina. Little do they know, it's all a manipulative ploy laid out by Selina herself.
Fuck, she's using rape as a ploy? You said it, so I can say it. She's using rape as a ploy? What?
Yeah, she's faking her kidnapping.
No. They couldn't do that. They couldn't like fake rape accusations. That would be.
Well, they don't know who kidnapped her.
Yeah,
So-
rapists are kidnapping women for ransom, and then if that's fake, that's bad. That's really bad. With your other like lefty-wefty friends, right? Like that, you'd be in a lot of trouble. Like associates wouldn't like you writing that plot because you're like.
I don't know. I think this is I don't know yet, but I think this is almost believable. One of my most hated comics I've ever read, if not my most hated comic, was a like trying to ride off the success of the Dark Knight comic that was called Joker. I don't know if anyone knows Joker, but I wanted to throw this away. It was terrible. It was like from the perspective of like a goon, and that had a different meaning back then. A goon under the Joker, and there's a scene in it where the Joker like rapes the goon's girlfriend just to like try to prove a point to him, and it's
Jesus.
like it's real, and DC printed that, and I read it and I was like. I only read it because I love The Dark Knight so much, and I was just like, this is horrible and horrifying. And there's scenes where he's like crying, and it's so that's the thing. Even for adults, even when DC was still tolerable, and this was like what 2008, I want to say. I think it came out in like 2008. It was written by, I have it right here, Brian Azzarello. I fucking hated that comic so much. Trying to think of like the modern DC, which has pride flags all over their comics and everything. Would they teach young women, to use rape to their advantage to manipulate men? That is the question here. That is the question I have.
Yeah, the part where they're all in high school and they're fighting over Catwoman, that is so believable.
Oh, because it's so cliche.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is more believable to me than pro cutting, and you started with that, and that was real. So it's just like, I want to say real to everything. You know what? This is real.
I want to say fake. Yeah, because I don't think they would go for false rape accusations being used by, like, the hero.
All right, one for fake, one for real.
Real!
Is real.
Yeah!
And it's called Gotham High.
Oh my God! Women are terrible! Gotham High, baby! Gotham High!
It is a love triangle with Selina, Bruce, and Jack, otherwise known as the Joker. And it ends with Selina tricking them both into believing that she was kidnapped when she was not actually kidnapped.
Why
And
does
then
the Joker look
it
like a
actually
butch
ends with her
lesbian?
faking her death, but that's a whole other thing. It's very convoluted and strange. But yeah, now you both are tied.
That's
Never forget.
crazy.
Women are
This
evil.
is for middle schoolers. This is who they want to read this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Joker looks like Abby from The Last of Us. Like, it looks like a weird butch lesbian scenario right now. I'm every time you say the comic, I'm like, no way, and then I look it up. Holy fuck, do they look like nightmarish? This is scary.
The art is actually genuinely terrible. Bruce is also Asian in that one. I forgot to put that one in there.
I was trying to figure that out, but yeah, I thought he looked like Terry McGinnis a little bit. He's had a little bit of that Asian tinge to him. I'm depressed.
After Barbara Gordon is paralyzed from the waist down, she's sent to a rehabilitation center. But now, she must join with her newfound crippled friends to rise up against the facility and stop their evil plot to cure the disabled with experimental procedures.
It's got to be real.
I don't know.
It's got to be real because I had a class in college which it was taught by this guy who had like 2 autistic kids that both would masturbate all over campus because they were on some kind of anti-autism drug that like made you a boy and a girl. They would everywhere.
Who told you about me?
Teacher he had us read a book in which it was a kind of a horror story where they were curing autism. So, and then the whole argument that he made for several weeks was that curing disabilities is like bad and that you should have like neurodiversity. And so I could imagine limb diversity being a thing. And so being crippled from like being paralyzed from the waist down being a good thing in their eyes. I'm going to go real.
Yeah, I don't want it to be real. But God, it seems real, doesn't it? Because I just imagine I just imagine them being like curing the disabled is literally Hitler, and that's something Hitler would do because of Auschwitz or something. Like they would be like, remember those stories or something that Hitler would hurt disabled people. Therefore, you got to accept everyone for their disability, even if they're in horrific pain and want to die.
I've seen it all, honestly. It doesn't take much to like write these plots because it's just so predictable what message they want to push.
What I want to know is like this is DC for kids. I didn't even know this existed until now. The real DC, the DC that we all know, is also bad, but this seems even worse. Like all they're doing for my DC is like race swapping and money is bad, but like here they're like literally brainwashing kids into I don't even know at this point, killing themselves and cutting themselves. It's real. I need a drink, but it's real. It's real.
Okay, so you're going real.
I'm going real.
You're going real.
I don't want it to be real, but it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
This is the Oracle Code.
Yeah, I knew she was that there was a character Oracle, which was like Catwoman after, or not Catwoman, Batwoman after she like
Batgirl, yeah.
Yeah, killing Joker clearly should have finished the job.
In a superhero universe, there's nobody that could help you out if your spine was broken.
To be fair, I don't think that this is supposed to take place in the actual superhero verse. It's like some alt whatever.
Some horrible pocket dimension.
Yeah. No, it's literally a bunch of crippled people with their crutches beating up a guy with a gun and winning. That is the comic.
Do you know that game that 4chan made? It's a dating sim and every girl has something wrong with them. There's a girl with no arms, girl with no legs.
Oh yeah, what is that? That's Katawa Shouju?
Katawa Shouju. Oh yeah. Because I think it appeals to nerdy guys who feel like there has to be something wrong with a girl in order for her to like them.
Do you think there was guys that fantasized about Barbara Gordon only when she was crippled? And then as soon as she got healed in the New 52, they're like, done.
Jamie Reyes is heartbroken to find his childhood friend has been indoctrinated by alt-right figures online. This has led him to being anti-immigrant and joining a right-wing group that wants to counter-protest a pro-immigrant protest. On top of being given supernatural blue beetle powers by aliens from outer space, now Jamie must work with his friends to investigate, stalk, and dox this right-wing group so that he can save his friend.
Oh, what do you?
No, you go. I
you
need
go.
Help. Okay, you want my tell? You know how I know this is real? Because I've learned in this short time that everything in the DC youth department, whatever the hell it's called, it's full reign. So if something happened in the real comics or in like MCU or any of that shit, you better believe it happened here. And this sounds just like the plot of the bullshit Netflix Punisher show. I had to stop watching that because that came out at right around the same time as Matiki torches and all that stuff. And so every time they put Punisher since Disney into anything, anything like since Disney took over, because Punisher is the right-wing superhero, it has to be like, oh, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not that bad, dude. And it's got to, he goes against cops, Blue Lives Matter people, right-wingers, tiki torch bearers, all that stuff. So this just sounds like an episode from that. This is 1,000,000% real. This is actually the number one. If you wrote this, you need to start. I think you need to work for them, because this is the most believable one of the night. I don't know. This is easy money.
I know Blue Beetle is like Mexican or whatever. So
One of those, yeah.
So
Jaime.
So the Blue Beetle powers, that checks out. You were talking about there was some comic where they were doxing people. Right. I'm gonna go real.
It's 100% real.
Double real?
Double real.
Double real.
All right. It is real.
Hey,
It is This Land is Our Land, a Blue Beetle story.
Yeah, well, there's 700 Marines who disagree with this story right now.
Have you guys seen the Blue Beetle movie? I dodged it because that was the one in the trailer where he was like, Batman's a fascist. I assume it's this. Like, that one line I heard them say, Batman is a fascist, and I'm like, I'm out, and I haven't even, like, sailed for it. I haven't done anything like that. I haven't wasted my time with it, but...
Yeah, I never saw the Blue Beetle. I know absolutely nothing about Blue Beetle except for this DCYA comic.
Oh, yeah, he's not great. He's like the, he's like the most comparable to, like, Miles Morales. Like, he's just unlikable. He's like the youth, quirky... Iron Man-esque. I've dodged him as much as I can. Like I know him from like Injustice. I don't even think he's in like the Bruce Timm Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. No, maybe in like one episode. I don't remember. But
DC does have a couple like low, like street leveler people that are really cool. Like Green Arrow and Black Canary are really cool. And those are like not super well known. But like, who the fuck is Blue Beetle? And who the fuck is Red Tornado? Like, are we
great. Red Tornado, he's like a red android, but he can
He's
and
a
he
red
turns
tornado.
into
When I think of the powers I would give to a robot, spinning and being red is
real fast.
Yeah,
He's written
real-
like a Sonic
yeah,
the Hedgehog character.
but
Go-
yeah,
Yes.
horizontal
There it
Sonic
is.
the Hedgehog. Fantastic character. Now we're cooking. Yeah, now it's
All right, here is the bonus plot.
Okay.
It's always expected that the successor of Naltorian powers will be a daughter. But Nia, a transgender woman, ends up inheriting these powers instead of their sister. Not wanting to deal with the fallout, Nia runs away from home and finds a new home in an old church that's been converted for homeless drag shows. Will Nia succeed in running from the past, or will their past come back to haunt them?
homeless drag shows. I don't know what the fuck a Naltorian is.
I don't know. Is this Wonder Woman? It sounds like Wonder Woman-y kind of stuff.
Naltorian?
Valid. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not looking anything up while question time is on, but yeah, that I'm assuming because Wonder Woman and all the Amazons, my brain is broken now. Azomians, they're all women, right? And then you got Hades or whatever, and he's the male bad guy, or there's the God of War as well. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. This isn't, none of this is out of the realm of possibility. It crosses parody potential on a homeless drag queens. Everything, and that's the key. Is homeless drag queens real? Are they real?
It's a clever way to like magically show validity of like transgenderism.
All of this sounds like it came straight out of Canada. I'm Canadian. Like this, I had to explain recently. When a Canadian video game company is doing pride shit because they'll add in the 2S at the end of the LG blah 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 blah. Because I'll always see people on Twitter that are like, "What the fuck is a 2S?" And I'm like, you can blame Canada for that. That's for Indian people that think they have two spirits in them. Indian trannies, everybody.
Okay, so we're both going true on this?
Oh, 100% true.
Yeah.
110% true.
Real and real.
Yeah.
So real.
Naltorian powers, are they real? It is real.
Okay.
This is a DCYA comic called Bad Dreams, a Dreamer story. And the superhero, in quotes, is called Dreamer. They were also a part of the Supergirl show from CW. Very random.
So since there's a tie, are we both Mysterio's gay nephew with AIDS?
I
Unfortunately.
think we gave each other AIDS.
Are you ready to read Avengers Academy, guys? One of you can be Captain America and one of you can be Mysterio. Did you think I meant the real Captain America? No.
Oh, no!
This is a different kind of Captain America.
Oh, hey everybody, I am one half of MeleeGames. If you're interested in video games, we bring back the glory of gaming. We do a whole bunch of stuff here. We have a podcast that is bi-weekly. We have a weekly show on Sunday called Steam Roulette, where I spin my Steam account, and whatever games we land on, we play, and it's absolute madness and chaos. And if you are a fan of comics, come on down, because I used to be. I still am somewhat of a fan of superheroes. I mainly ingest it through movies and games, so we can talk and hang out about that. I have streamed the Injustice 2 game. I think that was maybe the last thing I streamed on the channel that was superhero related. I also did Arkham Origins Blackgate, which, if you know that game, oh my god, it was a PS Vita exclusive Batman game that is borderline just broken. So we laugh at superheroes in our own special way over at MeleeGames.
Program restart.